All right, guys, so today is all about drafting. We are really approaching the final stages of writing this informational essay, and so today your job is really going to be to get those 5 paragraphs, introduction, body paragraph 1, 2, and 3, and conclusion, solidly written with the end in mind that by the end of the week, we're going to start the revising and editing process. So, get your writer's notebook out because there's going to be some tips and tricks that I'm going to be sharing with you today, all about making sure that you have the best drafting experience possible. And I'm going to be asking you about it when you meet with me tomorrow in our individual conference. So go ahead and get your writer's notebook out and have your draft handy. It's time to draft.
So the drafting stage, right? This is the stage where the writer not only starts the rough draft, but then also goes through different phases of drafting to really lead themselves to a final draft version of their writing. Your job is to make sure you're grouping your ideas together. We've been talking about this. This is what your body paragraphs are going to turn into. You need to make sure that that introduction and conclusion, guys, are solid. They're entertaining, they're informational, they hook your readers. And then as we go through, we're going to make sure that that flow continues to happen in our essay. So we spent a lot of time creating a plan and a structure and a really specific way to kind of talk about the data that we researched and the points that we wanted to make. So sweet friends, while you're drafting, please use that plan. Make sure that you're sticking to that central idea of your draft. That is the backbone of your whole essay. That's why we spent all that time really making sure that that central idea was clear as clear can be. Every time you open up that draft, you should be rereading that draft, looking for errors, looking for tweaks, and looking for things you want to add, delete, and change. You need to write as many drafts as you can or you need to until you feel like you have your best draft. That's what these next couple of days are going to be about. Adding, changing, deleting, reworking, reshuffling things to really make sure that we end the week with the best draft possible. Writers generate text to develop points within an organizational structure. Remember that. Cause and effect, introduction, body paragraphs to conclusion. Your job is to make sure that that structure is clear for your readers, but then also make sure that you add your own flair to it too. You get to add those stylistic choices of language and wordage and word usage to really zhuzh it up a little bit and make the writing yours. This is something that we are going to be focusing on when you meet with me tomorrow to talk about your essay. So the whole point of drafting is to end with the best version of the essay that you have so far, and then take that best version and even make it better through revising and editing. So we're going to walk through some of the things that you're going to need to think about for revision and for editing purposes that you are going to utilize at the end of this week. This is really just being proactive for our writing to see why we're drafting now and where we want to get to once we're done drafting. Remember we talked about revising and editing with arms and cups. We did this the last essay that we did. When we revise, we are adding details, description, and senses. We're removing words and things that don't make sense or that just simply don't need to be there. We are moving words or phrases or maybe even sentences that would fit better in another spot, or we're substituting dead words for words that are alive, words that we don't need for words that we do need. ARMS, add, remove, move, and substitute. When we edit, we think about cups, CUPS. We capitalize names, places, all proper nouns. Usage, we make sure that the nouns and the verbs match each other, okay? That's what we've been working on in our language use in our course guide, so we're going to continue that in our writing. We do that stuff in our course guide for a purpose. Isn't that amazing? Punctuation, periods, question marks, exclamation marks, quotation marks, commas, all of those things you are going to be sifting through with a fine-tooth comb as we go through the editing process. And then, of course, spelling. We don't have a word wall, but you sure have a dictionary that you can use. You need to make sure you're doing that. Here's a great visual on the difference between revision and editing, revising and editing. I love this one sentence summary here. Revising makes your draft sound better and editing makes your draft look better. Both of these things help that idea of flow. It helps create a really smooth experience for your reader, and it helps improve the quality of your reading as well. Go ahead and take a look here and pause the video on the differences between revision and editing. Here is a great revision checklist for you guys to use. Questions to ask yourself at the end of the week here. Does the topic sentence convey the paragraph's controlling or main idea? Does the topic sentence appear as the first or last sentence in the paragraph? Does the paragraph contain details that support the topic sentence? Does the paragraph include enough details to explain the topic sentence? Do all the sentences in the paragraph support the topic sentence? Is the paragraph organized logically? That might be a hard question for you guys, so I'm here to help. Do the sentences in the paragraph move smoothly and logically from one to the next? Again, that flow. And here's a great editing checklist. Did I reread my writing to check for mistakes, including homophone usage, right? Did I start each sentence with a capital letter? Did I end each sentence with some sort of punctuation and the correct punctuation? Are my words and paragraphs spaced correctly? Have I indented every one of my paragraphs? Have I not just circled any words that are misspelled, but corrected them? Using a dictionary if you need to, adding adjectives in those details. Here are great questions to ask yourself, especially when it comes to articles, commas, oops, there we go, and direct and clear language. These are great questions to use. So if you need to pause this video and then go through your draft by asking yourself these questions, do so. So now it's your turn. Today, it's all about drafting for you. It's your turn to draft, and then draft, and then draft some more. Draft with the end in mind that you are going to revise and edit later this week. We will finish our writing this week, and then we'll work on cleaning it up and flipping it over into a speech next week. Draft away.